Hey, welcome to Just Chats. Don't mind me just checking out my favorite magazine ever, Helpful Living Magazine. Yeah, you're going to hear from the founder tonight. So, none of my staff have seen this yet. I've been holding on to this one because I knew Jamie was going to be one of the guests. And sometimes they hold on to the magazine too long because we like share it in the office. So, I love this. We're going to talk more about that when Jamie gets on stage. But hello, we made it to the last Monday of August. Thank you all for being here. Oh my goodness, has August been a ride or what? I don't know if you're feeling it the same way I am, but holy smokes, it has been, whew, it is. It has been a month and it is almost over, guys. In Michigan, it is already changing leaves. It was chilly. I had my heat warming seats on already yesterday and today. I mean, I'm a pretty cold person, but that should not be happening in August. August is supposed to be the hottest month ever in Michigan. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of reminding me that I'm getting older and life is going so much faster. So, little tiny update with my son. He has been home now since Thursday, so not quite a week. He is impressing me so much with his strength and his girlfriend's strength. Oh, guys, I tell you, it is really interesting how life will sometimes put you in the slowdown seat and say, hey, you need to kind of take a little bit of time and you need to reconfigure some stuff. Because I was telling Jamie and Lisa backstage, I'm like, you know what? I don't forget anything. Like this brain of mine, it retains way too much, actually, like too much. It's like, could you get out of my brain a little bit? And I have been forgetting things. I have been misplacing things. Guys, I did not send these two lovely ladies their welcome email about being confirming the date and sending them all the information until last night. Tonight, I got home, realized I had not eaten since my protein shake at 7 a.m., threw a flatbread pizza, which was just like cheese and garlic. It was kind of gross, in the oven, set my timer to tell me when it was done. However, Jackie forgot to put said flatbread in the oven and did not have any food to eat until much longer. So forgive me if I have some glitches, if things aren't going correctly, if it is a little bit awkward or weird, or if I just put the wrong stuff on the screen, because I'm realizing now that I'm not quite in the crisis mode, my brain's relaxing a little bit and it's trying to play catch up and it's trying to remember all these things. So once Jamie and Lisa get on stage and they start rocking and rolling, everything will be great. But I'm super excited about that. I also want to share, because I have not shared this picture yet, but I am going to share it in a post in the next couple of days. By the way, thank you so many people that are joining already. Kenneth and Czar and Melissa, and of course Lisa's here. So excited for all of you guys. But check this out. We've got the Work-Life Balance Summit coming up through Dr. Tanya and Damien. And guys, this is a completely virtual summit. It is something that is totally, you can do it in your jammies. You don't even have to go on camera if you don't want to. Of course, you engage maybe a little bit more if you're on camera. Tons of great presenters, so many diverse topics, information that you can rewatch or go back and check out for like 30 days after the summit. My topic is kind of interesting. I kind of put it out there on LinkedIn. So some of you guys might be watching from Facebook, some from LinkedIn, some from YouTube. I did share on LinkedIn today that my topic is about the 3 B's: balancing, boundaries, and budget. It's called Balancing It All on a Budget. So it will be an interesting topic. I would love you to come. Guys, I have 2 tickets I can give away at only $20. It's such a deal. And I actually pair up, and these guys are great with it. They want more people to get the information than not. So I buy a ticket for my office staff, and then when we're not with clients, we watch in the same room and we kind of have a professional development day. It's a pretty awesome opportunity. So make sure if you can get a ticket, do it, and message me if you still need one of the reduced rate ones. I would be happy to share mine with you. Okay. All right. Let's see. Melissa's in the house. You saw that, right? You saw some of her comments. Let's see. What is a comment from Melissa? Okay, let's do this one. Melissa in Houston just became another grandma. Congratulations to you. So excited for you. If you didn't catch her Saturday show, she does a morning show every Saturday, Coffee Chats with Melissa. She actually highlighted a lot of pictures that I haven't even seen yet from our trip together in Arizona. So go back and watch that if you get a chance. Guys, there are so many awesome people. Linda's here. Great to see you. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Oh, I love that. That's great. Noni, my Noni from Chicago. I mean, she's not from Chicago, but we had time together in Chicago. So I just love that to death. So it's a British Bulldog. Guess what? Bulldogs were my high school mascot. Well, my whole grade school mascot. So I love hearing that. So guys, we've got some great stuff to come up with. We've also heard from some of our amazing people that we connect with on these events of some of the cool things they've got going on lately. So if you're like me and you've kind of stepped away from LinkedIn just a little bit because life is life in or something else is going in, go back and check out some of the people that you used to connect with or used to hear on some of the old audio events. Jamie and I were talking earlier about some of the audio events that we used to be listening to all the time and all the interaction that we had. Guys, it has been 8 months since there's been an audio event only on LinkedIn, the old capacity, not the one that you can just turn off your video on here. And some of us still really miss that. It was like a camaraderie. It was almost like we were one group of people all sitting in the same living room, but you could be in your jammies and nobody was going to judge you. And so I do miss that. And one of the cool things about that is both of my guests tonight and a couple other that are in the comments, Melissa and such, we're all in this book together. And this was done through Nick, through Guiding Brilliant Writers. And this was one of her trilogy books. And ours was all about our journey. And it's called We Came as Professionals, We Make Impact as People. So if you look at the back cover, we have some amazing people that are still doing different rooms and doing very cool things. We've got me right here. Melissa's up here. We have got, let's see, how can I do this? We got Jamie in the middle here and then Lisa over here. But this guy next to Melissa, this Mr. Felipe guy, just launched a children's book. I mean, pretty cool stuff. So if you're not seeing people in your feed like you used to, you're not really connecting with people, make sure that you're going and just clicking on their page. I don't know if that bell thing still works. I don't even know if there is a bell on the main page anymore, but check into your people, because I would much rather have 20 people that I still know what they're doing than have a gazillion people and they don't interact with me. I don't see what they're doing. And I feel bad when I miss people. But if you're not interacting, you're not going to see them as much. If you really like my Just Jack show, set an alarm so you don't forget. This is going to be every Monday. If you love, somebody else's show that's at this time on this day, set your alarms, figure it out, because sometimes LinkedIn isn't really acknowledging it as much as it used to be. Oh, look who's here on Facebook land. Gabe, when are you and your beautiful bride going to be guests with me on here? We need to do that. I feel in the need for another newlywed game show like I did with Amber and Joe a couple weeks ago. Gosh, it's more like a month or so now. But lots of good stuff going on. Also in this book, I got to give a quick little shout out to Jamie. She actually acknowledged Wishful Wednesday that Damien and I did for many years on the audio event. So stuff like that, it melts my heart and it makes me excited and happy and all the good stuff. Guys, there are so many great people here. I don't want to make sure that I'm missing anybody. So I'm just going to kind of jump in because we got two amazing people and you're going to love them. You probably know them. You've probably listened to them because they have their own podcast. They have their live events. They have published. They do great things. And I was kind of joking with them backstage. I'm like, hey, we're kind of all about wellness. I love talking about wellness. Jamie's book or magazine is completely about wellness. Plus she's written some other things. Lisa is all about health and wellness. So guys, we've got some great information. Oh, look who's just here. Mr. Felipe. He's here, but I already shouted out your book. So if you missed that, I promise you I gave you credit because I'm so excited that you launched into this other world. It's a cool, cool thing. Good stuff, guys. I just love seeing people here interacting, learning from each other, getting to know people. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to share with you? Oh, today, I got to tell you real quick. Sorry to make you keep waiting, Lisa. Lisa's going to be on first. Today was my first day with two new interns, not one, two new interns on the same day. And it was a Monday and it was a very busy Monday. Hence the reason I forgot to eat today. However, we did group today. And usually I would never have interns sitting on one of my groups on the very first day that they start because they're nervous. And I hit them with so much paperwork and background checks and training materials and stuff. But I'm like, hey, my group's already scheduled. You're going to sit in on this. And it was such a cool group. It was a youth group. So there's the kids that are referred from courts, and then their adults were with them. And they were a tough group in the beginning, guys. Like nobody wanted to talk, and some of them were giving me the little stink eye. And usually at the end of the session, there's usually some decent feedback, and a lot of times it's the parents thanking me, or the kids in their surveys, they'll thank me for the information we said. But there were two things that stood out for me, and I wanted to share them with you, because if you've never heard my show before, if you're watching it on replay but you don't really know who I am, I have been in the social work field longer than all of these kids in the group have even been alive. I mean, I've been doing it a long time. And I had one girl that told me that I am great at what I do. She did not need to say that. She doesn't get extra credit for that. She doesn't do anything. And I was kind of looking at her like, is there a but? Is something else coming? Guys, we don't realize the impact we have on other people just by being kind, because the next comment I got, and they didn't do it right on top of each other, it was a little later. I had another person that said, thank you for talking with us and not yelling at us. Guys, how powerful is that, talking with us? So that's what this show is all about. It is all about trying to make sure that people are hyping other people, because guys, I could literally rant and go on for a very long time and do a whole hour nonstop talking myself, but you need to hear some great people. Are you ready for Lisa? Do you have some questions ready for her? Because she's going to get on stage and boom, the time's going to be over, and it'll be Jamie's turn, and then boom, the time will be over with her. Here she comes. Lisa.
Hi.
So great to see you. I talked way longer than I expected. I am so sorry
That's okay. That's just you.
Oh, so I'm used to listening to your shows, and now I get the beautiful
Yeah,
opportunity to
I get
host.
to be here.
So Lisa is coming in from the beautiful country of Trinidad, someplace that I will get at some point. But thank you for joining us tonight, my friend. How are you doing?
I am good. I am so happy to hear about your son, that he's recovering well. So I was just listening to you and smiling. I'm like, okay, everything is right to do. So I'm
Oh,
good. I'm good.
I love that so much. But now to you, Lisa, let's start off by sharing with everybody, what are two things that you have been proud of yourself for, things that you've accomplished, things that you've done good? We want to hear it.
So when I saw you send that questions, I was like, okay, two things immediately came to mind. The first was I can now say I'm a three-time international best-selling co-author. If you had said that to me a year ago, I'd be like, whatever you're smoking, you need to stop or either share with me, because you're on some kind of crazy train that I need to be on, right? But I actually had an event this Saturday where it was a literary club with some female entrepreneurs. And the president said she thought of me as the first author to come on. And I was like, oh yeah, right, I'm an author. Just so weird to hear, especially since I have such an analytical brain, to have that creator side be acknowledged. And the attendees were like, they want to know my process. I was like, oh wow, yeah, a process. That's so, it was just so wild for me. So to hear somebody acknowledge that, yeah, I was just smiling all weekend. And the second thing is that I finally finished my thesis for my MPhil. I took way too long because of all the surgeries I had to have and all the time off I had to have. I think I probably took the longest in the university for my thesis to finish. But I finally collected the hard copy degree because I missed the graduation. But I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't do it alone, but I finished and I achieved it. And it's something I started when my dad was alive, and he didn't get to see me finish, but it's like, okay, like I did that for you. And, so this was a good weekend. Let me put it that
Oh,
way.
I can just hear it bubbling from you. I love that. Your voice is always so soothing and wonderful, but I can hear that extra layer of excitement. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad you had a great weekend. Thank you for sharing that with us too. That makes me so happy for you. Now, even though you have all those credentials behind your name, registered dietitian, this and that, and this and that, and all those things, we still should be learning and growing every single day. Is there something
Yeah.
you're willing to share that you're still working on for yourself?
Yeah, sure. For me, it's always my mindset. Um, while I was doing my thesis, there was something that Leslie Flowers actually said in one of her many shows. And I'm sure I'm butchering what she's gonna say, so hopefully she could put the right thing in the comments. But she said something like the universe isn't going to give you that goal, that big goal that you're trying to achieve until you are ready for it, and unless you put in the work to match it. And while
Mm,
I was doing my thesis, I heard it and I stopped and I asked myself, am I really ready for this? And am I putting in enough work to achieve it? And it really changed how I approach not just that, but how I approach my clients, how I approach anything that I put work into. I'm always asking myself, am I doing enough to match what my clients expect from me? And am I ready to receive whatever the goal is? So I'm always learning, always trying to improve and motivate myself so that I can motivate clients. Yeah, so that's always a learning process for me.
I love it. I love it. I think that's so great because when we don't acknowledge what we need to do or we just pretend
Mhm.
everything's fine, we're fine,
Yeah.
no problem, our brains remember that we still want to work on a few things, and mindset is
Mhm.
so important. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So even though you live in the tropics, you have amazing weather, you are not dealing with the whole fall changes, I don't think, like I am up in Michigan. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Well, I kind of want the fall weather because right now I'm sweating bullets, or I'm praying that we don't get flooded out with the heavy rains. The hurricane, I think Erin just passed through and dumped a whole set of rain on us.
Mm.
So it's either we really hot or we're swimming, right? But strangely enough, where I want to go, the first place that came to mind was Vancouver Island, and I hope I'm saying that right, in Canada. I follow a vegan influencer, and he's always taking us on bike rides and hikes, and it's so serene, especially now with the fall colors. And it's safe where he is, so he can hike straight through the hills, and he passes blackberry bushes that he could just pick off blackberries and eat and it's just so fantastic, like a story's tale.
I love
But yeah, if there's one place I could go, if it wasn't for the cold, the very, very cold place, because I'm not good with cold, I would move there. It's that beautiful. It's
And
really, really
just through seeing
beautiful.
it online, it's that
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's gorgeous, but the cold would kill me.
So I really want to go there too. It is on my list. I've done a lot of like the east, I guess, just
Mhm.
I guess the parts around Michigan of Canada, quite
Yeah,
a few
yeah,
different places, but I would love to get over there too. So maybe we'll coordinate over there if that happens before I get to Trinidad, because I
yeah.
definitely want to get there. So Gregory actually just shared, I don't know if you saw this or not, that his father was actually born in Trinidad. I had no idea.
Wow, I did not know that. And I've seen Gregory around in different events. That is so cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
fun fact, and I think I've told you this a few times, I don't think I've mentioned it in a while. When I was just a little kid, I was paired up with a pen pal from Trinidad.
yeah.
So we have still not met. It has been, gosh, I think it's been 47 years now. Guys,
Oh,
I'm old if
wow.
you didn't know that.
Yeah.
And we have not yet met. We are Facebook friends. We are not connected through other social media. And I cannot wait to see her in person someday. And I hope it happens before long.
Yeah,
And then, of course, I guess I just have to meet Lisa, right?
of
I mean,
course.
I love it.
Yeah, we gotta come Lyman.
Oh, I love it. So, Lisa, you do so much. You write, you help people with their menopause journey, you help people in the dietitian world. You have an amazing blog, and I sometimes see that right on LinkedIn, and then I always get it emailed to me. Your
Yeah.
Metamorphosis newsletter. You are
Okay.
up to 90 newsletters, Lisa.
Yeah, I saw that today and I was like, wow.
That is a
I
milestone.
wrote so much.
But you know what? You're educating so many people, and there are things like a certain food. Sometimes I've never even heard of the food that actually makes a difference that I would have never
Yeah.
realized. So I just think it's amazing. But now it's kind of your turn to hype yourself for a few minutes, Lisa. What do you want to share with those that are reading? I mean, we got so many great people. There's Spencer and Gregory and Jay's
Yeah.
here and Christy's here, and oh my gosh, Jeremy and Kenny, and just so many people are
Mhm.
already here tonight. But what do you want to share with some of these people? Because some of them already kind of know you, and some of them
Yeah.
may not know you. Go right ahead.
So first is to say thank you to the LinkedIn community. A lot of times I get more support here than I do in my personal life. It's such a beautiful thing when people from different countries, different walks of life can just give you that support. So it's just so great. How you can support me is just to share what I share online with your friends, your family, colleagues, any woman or any person you think needs to hear the message. So I put out a newsletter every Wednesday, and I do different posts on other days, but my Wednesday newsletter gives the most amount of information. So if you can, well, like it, leave a comment, leave your thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts on what I've said, and then share it with your friends and family. Because the only way a woman could advocate for her own health is to have the information first. And the only way to get that is by spreading the word. And LinkedIn is not doing the best job of sharing it with our friends. The algorithm is just so weird right now.
Mhm.
So the way to support me is really when I have a LinkedIn Live to share it, attend, of course, share your thoughts. When I have a post a newsletter on Wednesdays, again, like it, comment, share it, because the more people who see it, you may reach someone who really needs to hear the information, is struggling with their quality of life and really needs that support. And that might be the one day that something connects with them. So that's how you can really support what I'm doing.
I love that, Lisa. And, the topic of menopause, I think as little girls, sometimes we'll hear like our aunts or our grandmas or maybe even our mothers or our
Yeah,
older sisters or somebody talking about it. And there's such a scary connotation to it. It's,
yeah.
oh, when you're really, really old, or, oh, it only happens to certain people. And the
Mhm.
fact that you brought the word menopause, I mean, there may have been a couple others trying to talk about it, but nobody's talked about it like you. You brought that word to LinkedIn and it did not scare people away. And people are
Oh,
learning
thank
from
you.
you. People are breaking down barriers so they can understand what might be going on in their own body or their partner's body,
Yeah,
their mother's body. And it's something that so many women, especially, our health is not always comforted as much in the doctor's
yeah,
office. They will
yeah,
tell us that we're just too emotional. It's our time of the month. We
yeah,
eating too much. We're too fat. And you really bring a different sense to that. And I really appreciate all that you do and what you do to make sure that people not only have the information, but they really know. Yeah. And James talk about women's health there too.
mhm,
You know, really trying to get the fact that it's okay to ask questions, because if
yeah,
your doctor's not
yeah,
giving you information, maybe somebody else has went through it, or you can find somebody like Lisa that's willing to
mhm,
give you free information in her newsletter.
yeah,
So much free information. She is not charging you for that. And then her shows that she shares additional information. And it's like,
mhm,
sometimes I'm like, can my doctors just get like an automatic newsletter sent to them so maybe they'll know about it too?
yeah, yeah,
Uh, so your LinkedIn journey, I kind of remember all of a sudden I'd see this little Lisa pop up here and there and there, and then all of a sudden you're everywhere. Tell us a little bit about your growth and about how you really rock LinkedIn. I would love to hear that for
yeah.
people.
So I was doing this stalker thing, as you were saying. Audio events were big back then, so I would, try to engage and see what's going on. And I can't remember how it happened, but the universe aligns itself with who you need to meet when you need to meet them. So I happened to meet Annie, the godfather of LinkedIn events, and he was like, "You talk about something important. You should have your own event." I was like, I LinkedIn is for business. I don't think LinkedIn is ready for me to talk about menopause and bleeding and all of those fun topics yet. And he's like, no, let's just do one and see. And I really have to give him credit and Paulette Hallam um, that credit, because they got me out of my shell and believed in me when I didn't think it would work, and they've supported me ever since. They're still with me, even when we switch to LinkedIn Lives. They still support me, and he helps me produce the show. Sends out the ad, everything, So it's really, I really have to thank them for pushing me to do it and for sticking with me when they could have left and done other things, because I mean, Annie doesn't really care about hearing about menopause. He runs on the covers, as Paulette would say. But sharing the message, because again, the more women who hear it and the more men who hear it as well, so they can support their partners. You may not have a partner or a sister or colleagues at work, but everybody has a mother, and everyone should be able to give their mother understanding and grace when she's going through this. And that's how the information disseminates. So I'm always surprised when I see more men in the room sometimes than women because people just want a space to understand and listen and maybe share their advice. And it's like I said, this is a really good community that I've found myself in. So I'm really grateful.
I just love that so much. And it's like, here you weren't sure if your voice was meant for LinkedIn. Guess what?
Yeah.
We're all meant for LinkedIn. We're all meant for YouTube, for whatever social media platform you have. And I think that is one of the things that, a couple years ago on LinkedIn, the big word was imposter syndrome. Do you have it? How do you get away from it? How about we just start telling humans, especially little humans, so they can grow up to realize that their voice is just as important as anybody else. It doesn't matter what titles, what education, what money we got in the bank account. We are all exactly as important as other people. And I think you are a perfect example of that, Lisa, trying to not just think that your voice was meant here and then boom, there you are. So is there anything that's coming up that we should know about for you?
So my LinkedIn Lives are starting back in September. Let me just get the date. Next week. Oh my gosh, next week I have to do the ad. Okay, so it's on the September 2nd, so every other Tuesday. So we're starting back next week, and it's going to be a really interesting topic. We're almost at the end of the year, so time to wrap up and time to think about how we want to really close off this year in a good way. So just connect with me if you haven't, and just share the message. That's all I could ask from people. Yeah,
I love that. So Melissa asked, which platforms do you plan on focusing your growth?
So I do have a presence on all. I would like to really get into YouTube so I can explain certain topics a lot more. So that's sort of my focus now. Definitely growing LinkedIn as much as I can, because we have a lot of corporate entities here, and talking about menopause in the workplace is really a passion of mine. Too many women are quietly quitting and leaving, and not considering, okay, what's my next step, because they're not getting the support. So really talking to corporate entities now about menopause and how they could support their workers. That's what I'm really focused on.
I love that so much. My staff at our office are very diverse ages, and we've taken a couple pictures where I think there's like 5 different decades represented in staff. And I love that. And I don't know if some people that have such bigger staffs, they really dive into the differences of staff. And even like I was talking to one person at my office the other day, and she's like, I don't know, I want to guess like maybe 8 years younger than me or so. And so she's considered millennial and I'm not. And she was talking about even how a lot of millennials use every ounce of their sick time and vacation time the minute they earn it, where people my age and older, we kind of hoard it for a rough day.
So true. So true. Yeah. And we need to take a page out of their book and take a break and just, sometimes do nothing. We really need to give ourselves that self-care. Yeah.
And Lisa and I were talking a little bit about how during menopause, our brains kind of act like how they do when we're going through a trauma or a grief process. And our brain kind of plays tricks on us, and it makes us forget stuff, and it makes us think of things that we thought we were doing right and we weren't doing. It's important to recognize when things go different in your body, and it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to follow somebody like Lisa that can give you some information. And, she is, like I said, she's super active on LinkedIn, and then she's got the other socials too. Really follow her as she's starting to grow her lives. And if it gets to YouTube, make sure you follow her. You can book a menopause makeover with Lisa. I mean, see how she fits in with you. And it's not a scary thing. It's not an embarrassing thing. It's an amazing thing. And thank you so much for offering this service. Thank you for being willing to come on Just Jackson guest tonight, Lisa. You are in my heart all the time. I cannot wait until that day we meet, whether now it's in Vancouver.
Oh my gosh, yes. Definitely come to Trinidad and come for Carnival. Yeah,
I
definitely.
see, you scare me with that carnival though, because when I travel, I like to be away from crowds. I purposely don't travel during the
Okay,
big.
all right, all right. Okay, fine. Come for Christmas. Christmas is a really
Oh,
beautiful time.
maybe I'll
Yes,
come
come.
once
Yeah,
as it's quiet and then come back when it's the wildness. How's
yeah.
that?
Okay, deal.
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much for being here. Please join the comments.
Oh,
Feel free to see all the
yeah.
beautiful
Thanks for
comments people
having
are
me.
writing.
Yeah, I
I'll,
really like this. Thank you.
I'll see you, friend.
Okay, bye
Bye.
bye.
Isn't she great? I knew she'd be great. She's so fun. Um, it is so interesting how we can say that we don't think our voice is valuable or that we're not meant to be in some capacity or something. You don't know who needs your information until you start using your words, guys. It's so important. So there's a lot of people that came in a little bit late to the show, and that is totally okay. But you missed my cute little introduction. I was like this. I was going like, mm, 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 because guess what? This is literally my favorite magazine. It is the only magazine, sorry, this way, that I actually purchase anymore. Everything else, I'll just like, I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it. Jamie, who is coming on stage in just a second, guys, this is her magazine. It is like the best quality. But one of the coolest things is not only is it about mental wellness and it's about all the cool stuff. Look, there she is. Ain't she gorgeous? It is such a diversely beautiful magazine. It is short stories. There's little pieces, there's little parts that just will connect with you. And it reminds you that we are all in this together, guys. Check out her. She doesn't do as much on her page, and she's been a little bit less active on LinkedIn. That's why I was so excited when she was willing to come to the stage tonight, because you need to get to know her. You need to see some of her information. You need to read some of this stuff. So I'm ready to bring Jamie up. Are you guys ready to meet her? If you haven't met her yet, are you ready to see her again if it's been a minute? Jamie, here you come.
Hi, everyone.
Yay.
Hey, Jackie.
I'm so glad to have you here. Oh my gosh, it's so wild. I mean, I knew we were in a book together, but I was not even thinking when you and Lisa got paired tonight that I'm like, we're all here. And I
I
see
know, right?
Jason in the comments and Felipe's in there and Melissa's in there. Let's see. I know let's see. What do we got here? Oh, you're towards the end. I just love seeing your guys' pictures. When I see all of that, I'm just like, this is so cool. But you have Nisha quite a few times in your magazine as well. So she was a co-author with us. I know I've seen a couple other people, but how cool is that? We're like linked together forever in this.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And I am pretty sure we got originally connected from our dear friend, Mr. Damian Kinsey.
Yes, he's the best.
Like the
He
main
is the best.
connector.
Hi, Melissa.
The main connector, I tell you, of LinkedIn.
Okay.
I know he wishes he could be more here a lot more often, but when we get him, we get him. But just the fact that when you wrote your chapter, you acknowledged Wishful Wednesdays, the show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I had to. It was like, I feel like that was like one of the peaks of LinkedIn, and just hearing the wishes and just hearing like how you and Damien came together and built the community, and it was like something that I looked forward to when I could hop on and listen. And that was the thing I liked the most with them, is the LinkedIn audios, is that you didn't have to like talk, although I like talking, but sometimes we could be in a space where we just need to listen, just to know we're not alone, to get ideas, to connect. It was really good for people who are introverts, for sure. So,
Oh, I love it. And people that are really busy, because there are humans that, and now I did know, and Melissa, I don't know if this happened for you or not, but my LinkedIn had kind of came back where I can downsize the lives now, because it's like I could downsize it, still listen and do something else on my phone, or not have it up and hear it. And then there for like a week, I couldn't do it. I had to be looking at my phone. It had to be the only thing open on my phone to hear it. And actually it started on Saturday. I noticed, for me at least, that I could actually multitask on my phone again. So fingers crossed it stays that way. But Jamie, you and I could just start chit-chatting so much, and we'll get so off track. I got some questions for you, my dear.
Thank
All
you.
right, let's start out with two things that you are so proud of yourself for, things that you are happy that you've accomplished, whatever those things are. We would love to hear that.
Okay. So two things. Um, there's so many things. There's big things and little things. The one, not the main thing, but one of the things is the magazine. And the reason why is because it was an idea. And I remember writing down on the paper, just like idea of a magazine, the topics, and then to actually see it. So from it going to my brain and coming out and it's being a product and it being in homes and in doctors' offices and in people's inboxes for the the digital version, it really gave me the confidence like, oh, I could do this, and so I always thought that it was amazing to have something where someone can think about and then it comes and it becomes a product. So I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of some other things, but I'm recently proud also. I changed my headlight in my car yesterday.
That's amazing.
I am very proud of that. Now, if you'd have asked me if we was here last week, it would have probably been something else. But I did that yesterday and it took me like 5 minutes. I
And
saved
you saved how
so
much
much
money by doing
money.
it yourself?
So I'm really proud of that. Like I went in and I told Troy, who's my husband, I was like, I changed my headlight. And he was like, did anybody see you do that? Like, because he's probably like looking like, they probably like, what is she doing changing her headlight? But I am very proud of it because I did it yesterday and it only took me 5 minutes. Um, so yeah, those are the two
I
things.
love that. And I love how one thing was literally just yesterday. So, funny thing in that group that I was talking about earlier that I did today, one of the kids, it was the funniest thing. I've never been asked this question because I always give them a chance to actually say, ask me a question. And I do it at the end so that they can get through all this stuff and they can just kind of have a light moment at the end of the group. And one of the kids asked me if I was mechanical.
Not
I'm
mechanical.
like, that would be a no. You don't want me behind any kind of power tools or any kind of engines. It's not going to end well. But I thought it was just the cutest thing. And I don't know if he expected me to say, yeah, I could do stuff, or if he thought that he was going to trip me up or I'd be embarrassed by saying no. I was like, oh, no, I don't do it. I have no shame in my game. Give the people with that skill their skill. But look at you learning something new, Jamie. I love that so much. It's so
Yes.
cool. I love it. So our dear Nick, our
Oh,
publisher,
Nick.
she's in the house. She fell asleep on us. I get it. You need to go back because we gave some pretty good shout outs. Annie, you missed your girl. Lisa was just on stage. You missed her by like 2 seconds, but go back and watch her because she's amazing. As you know, you get to spend all kinds of time with her. But we are back to Jamie's question, and she just talked about two things that she's proud of. And of course, one thing is her amazing magazine. How do you put together a live, living, breathing, beautiful magazine like this and make it available online just because you want to help other people and help their mental health? It's amazing. I love it. And then
Thank
she changed a
you.
light bulb. I love that. But one of the coolest things is when I asked you the question, Jamie, I don't even know if you remember how you started, but when I said, I want to hear two things, you said, there are so many things. That is what every human needs to harness. We need to
Mhm.
focus on the good stuff we do. We need to highlight how amazing we are, because sometimes just waking up and putting our shoes on or brushing our teeth or opening our eyes and saying today's going to be an okay day, that is a huge accomplishment for many people. And unfortunately, so many people focus on the bad, the negative stuff, the not so good stuff that's going on in our world. So even though you're amazing, you're a published author and you do this amazing podcast and you do a magazine and you've conquered the world and you've done so many amazing things, we're still growing every day, just like I
Yeah.
told Lisa. What is something you want to share that you're working on or that you're still learning or growing in right now?
I would say I'm still working on, well, as you mentioned, the podcast. So I've been working on that, and it's pretty cool with really just trying to understand like the editing of it and the producing of it. I think it's such a cool skill. I'm very engrossed in it and like changing like the transition sounds and adding things, and it's really coming along. It's coming together really cool. So that I'm still growing and learning. And then really for me, I'm still learning how to balance. Like I'm getting there. Like I do make sure that I have self-care. I'm very big on making sure that I have like self-care moments for myself. Like I get up every morning, well, most mornings, but I get up and I make sure that I spend some time with me. And typically that means going to the gym, going on a walk. It's just before I'm everything, every title to whoever, I'm taking care of me first. And so I've been intentional with that. And I've noticed when I do that, it makes me it gives me time to have more gratitude for myself. Because I'm very big on, or prior to, I was always like not, yeah, I guess negative. And I remember one time our preacher said that there's a lot more negative words in many people's vocabulary, so those words come out. So I started being intentional and paying attention to like what I invested my time in, and I'm like, wow, where am I at on this schedule? So now that I'm learning how to balance, and now school's back in session, so that's a whole nother. It's like you get used to the summer and you get used to that flow. But then that week, like this week, it's like, oh man, I got to do all the things. So I'm really intentional in making sure that I balance and spend time. So I'm still working on that, but I see the growth in me because I'm like, no, this is a non-negotiable. Is making sure that I'm good.
I think maybe you need to teach some kind of class how we can all show up for ourselves before we become all those titles and those rules and those responsibilities. I love that so very much. Bill Hobbs, let me see, where is that? He
I should
asked,
do a podcast. I
yeah,
want to do that.
which platform do you stream your podcast on? Is it LinkedIn? Is it
Oh,
Apple? Is it?
Apple and Spotify.
It is okay. There.
Apple and Spotify. And what I'll do, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true, but I heard that when you put the link in like the post of LinkedIn, it doesn't show as much. It won't, because I guess it's taking you off the LinkedIn
Mhm.
site. So I've tried to like post on LinkedIn, but then in the comments put the link
Yeah.
to the podcast. So I'll do more of that. But is that true? Or am I making
I've heard the same thing, and I do notice when even if I hashtag the other day, I hashtagged a couple different social media names, I guess you could say, just to see if it would do it, and it seemed very much like it slowed things down. So, and please make sure going through is the name of our podcast, but if you want to even go back into this group event for the event page, you can go put the link there, and then we can kind of see it or we can watch it, because I think some of them you can subscribe to, right? So then we'll know when you're live and everything. That's good.
Absolutely. Yep.
And she's got a beautiful voice to listen to, but super
thank you.
important topics too, and that's one of the things that I just think is so important, is that some people don't realize listening to people. It's not just because you're like clapping because they're your bestie or because you like them or you want to connect with them, but it's really the idea that you're sharing really great information and you've learned it, you've walked it yourself, you help people in their day worlds and everything go there. So I can't thank you enough for that. If you could travel anywhere, my dear, get away from all those soccer games. We're not talking traveling to soccer fields. Where would you go?
So I want to go to I want to go to Spain. I want to go to Europe. I want to go over in that area to really just, because I feel like there, the States, I mean, it's it's been around, but those countries have been around. So you see like the culture, you see, the architect. I want to see those things. I love the Caribbeans, but I just want to be immersed in just, you know what I mean? Like so I'm hoping to go to Spain next year. And I feel like when I do that, then I'll start to make my way around, other places, like France or Greece or, things like that. So that's where I would like to go, and I just love culture. I just love seeing people as their authentic selves and just learning. And I think it's just such a beautiful way. I love, meeting new people and just being immersed in other people's culture. Quick story, my oldest son had a birthday party we went to over the weekend, and their family's from Iran, but of course they live here now. And they had some friends that were speaking Farsi, and just to see them talking, and then the grandma kept bringing us tea, and it was just like, that's their culture. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I could be here all day. So yeah, I want to go over there to answer your question.
That is so cool. One of the things about traveling for me, Jamie, because sometimes I do talk a little bit more traveling on here, is that I really think it makes people, well, number one, I think it gives people hope, because they're like, wow, it's gorgeous here. I thought they would be scary living there, or the cars would be weird, or the views would be weird. So it can give people hope that the world can be better, but it also brings us closer together to realize that we are all more alike than we are different. And if all you see is the same people fighting all the time, the same people that are privileged, but yet they're not very nice to other humans, you think that's always where it's going to be like. So when you do get to get out of your city, maybe your state, maybe if you're lucky enough to get out of your country, it just opens doors, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So Mr. Felipe is trying to give us a little bit of information on some of the social media stuff. So it says, new research says that if you do 2 or more links, tend to suppress. Oh, interesting. So unless they are both for that same social media platform. Yeah, I think there is so many new tricks and treats that LinkedIn does that it kind of blows my mind. Now, one thing that I saw tonight for the first time, and it might be just because I am, I've been kind of a little frazzled, I guess I could say, lately with everything going on. But I noticed when I went back to my personal page and I scrolled to see which posts I had most recently posted, just today, literally maybe not even an hour before you came on stage, it said that I could boost the post or I could promote it. And then there was one that said this post is not able to be promoted because I think I shared it from somebody else. I've seen that on Facebook for a gazillion years. I had not seen it on LinkedIn yet. So I don't know if they're just slowly rolling that out or if I just haven't paid attention and it's been around for months or something. But my thought again is they are trying to monetize in different capacities, which means that they're going to suppress certain things and they're going to reevaluate things. And guys, I just want us to be able to love this platform forever and not have to deal with all those hoops and boundaries. So that could be something, but yeah, play around with it and feel free, Jamie, anytime you want to tag me in a post so I can make sure I can go and like it, or I can post a link to your something too, because I know they like us to go back and forth too. So different social medias are different, but LinkedIn, girl, I saw you have a lot of followers and connection, but you don't have enough for all the stuff that you do and how amazing you are. So if you guys are watching Jamie and you have not connected with her, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And that maybe the more she gets, the more she'll get more active, because her posts can be absolutely amazing. Her magazine is so great. But Jamie, I want to give you a few minutes to kind of highlight. What else did you want to highlight that I haven't given you a chance to talk about yet?
Well, I will say, I know you had asked or made a comment on like how I get all the content and things like that. One of the many blessings that I've experienced now is with the magazine getting so much traction, a lot of people are emailing me their pitches.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those who are wanting to be in a magazine or want to be in this publication, you can email me at info@healthfullivingmag.com. But it's been great. It's like 1 minute I'm thinking like, all right, I got to get these submissions in. And then next thing you know, it's like, hello, Healthful Living team, or hello, editor, or, and so I'm just like, wow, it's really getting traction. One of the reasons why I started this magazine, honestly, is to give a little history, is I used to work in a psychiatric hospital, and I was, the role I had was a discharge coordinator. And so that role allowed me to work with a lot of different people, all walks of life. I sat on a team with a psychiatrist, a therapist, a rec therapist, a nurse, social workers. And it allowed me to realize working with clients, I had to do it with a team. And we each day talked about each client's, and the goal was to make the life better for that individual. And we all had our different parts. And it gave me an aha moment because I'm like, if we have to work together as a team for someone that's hospitalized, what does that look like for that person outside of the hospital? Most of them are there for 7 to 14 days. And then it's like, well, what does life look like after that? And so I realized at that moment, there needed to be something that people could read to get an understanding of those who are dealing with mental health challenges, and to also let people know that that those who are dealing with challenges aren't alone, and we're all one tragedy away, right, from being inpatient. And even though we may end up inpatient or have that experience, it doesn't mean that it's over, right? It's just a part of our journey. And so the magazine is really near and dear to me because I wanted to change the trajectory of how people feel about the stigma of mental health. And I think one of the things with COVID, it shook the world, but it also gave reality like, hey, we all have these challenges. They just look different, and we all, handle problems differently. And so I was very intentional when it came to creating this magazine because I felt like it really, gave education to a lot of people who may have not even heard of mental health. Most of the time, the word bipolar was the first time they heard it when they came through those doors, or depression, or, and so I was just like, there's mental health is its own world. And I felt like I was doing a disservice if I wasn't educating people. And the more we're educated on something, the more we're more prone to get the help. And so I think that's always important to understand the why and what I do, because I really think that it is important. And I'm amazed to see the changes that the magazine has done for so many people. It's brought people together. It's allowed candid conversations. It allowed resources. And so I'm just so appreciative that this thought came to mind. That's this idea, and that that I pushed it out, and with the help of God to help me move forward. I'm just thankful because it's only going to get bigger. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you having me on this platform because talking about it, it always inspires me. It always makes me think just about, how far I've come, with the idea, and just so much, there's so much more work to do.
I
There's so
love
much
that.
more work to do.
One of the
Sorry.
things, no, don't say you're sorry. You are doing great. One of the things that I cannot help but say more and more. So again, guys, here she is. This is her most recent magazine. I think we got it maybe a week in 2 weeks ago. I think it came out. Um, like I said, there's really quick little articles. Sometimes she'll have little word searches, or she'll have a self-care checklist. She'll have many different people talking, like just a mini blurb, and then there will be a big article. I can't say enough about the diversity of this magazine, Jamie, because this is not just a Black person's magazine. This is not just for a mental health social worker type of person magazine. This is for any human to just pick up, and you can feel like, oh my gosh, they look like me. I've been through that thing. Oh my gosh, they're talking about what I've lived through. It is so great. And I am very fortunate to have a very diverse staff at work. And every one of them came up and said, I've never seen a magazine that has had so much diversity in it.
I appreciate that because I mental health touches everybody. It don't discriminate on income. It don't discriminate on ethnicity. None of that. And so it's like we have to realize that, we really do. And so I think with conversations that leads to change, but also with resources, and it's not something that you just talk about one time. And I think
Mhm.
that's where I end up creating the podcast because I'm like, we got to have these conversations constantly. you know.
Really.
So I'm like, somebody gonna hear me. You gonna either read it or you gonna hear me on this podcast.
And I feel very strongly, and the older I get, I feel even more strongly about this, that the people that are meant to hear it are going to hear it. Even if, and Damien kind of talked to me about this, like the very first time we did one of our events together. And that was even before we started Wishful Wednesday. It was when we were doing the room, Finding Your Purpose. And I was like, Damien, what if nobody shows up? What if nobody's listening? He's like, Jackie, the people that are meant to be there will show up for you. And that kind of resonated, and the people that are meant to hear you are amazing, and they're going to grow and they're going to talk to other people. Now, I don't know if you saw Mr. Felipe, and I can't get back to his comment because it's way up there, but he corrected us and said it wasn't called a light bulb in your car. It's actually the headlamp, or,
Oh, right.
you know, go automotives, right? But seriously, humans, how can you not look at this woman that created a magazine? And it's not just a one-time thing. This is published quarterly, correctly, Jamie? I have a whole slew of them. Like I said, we rotate them through. I have the older copies ready for the interns to look at when they have some downtime. I'm just like, if I don't have a project for you, just look through these, take some time to read that. So it does not surprise me at all that you decided, hey, one day I'm going to change my own doggone headlamp. And you did it. Jamie, you are such a joy. I love you dearly. We need to talk a lot more. I know you're busy, but I'm past the soccer days, so you enjoy that.
I know he has a tournament this weekend. I'm like, oh Lord.
And in Michigan, it can be the coldest of the cold at the first game, and by the afternoon you're like burning up. And those tournament days, it's like, oh, it can be everything. So enjoy this time, because I do tell you it goes by very quick. And every now and then I'm like, I kind of miss going to one of their games. But such a joy having you. Thank you so much for being here. Anytime you want to come back, anytime you want me to hype some of your stuff, just let me know that too, okay?
I sure will. Appreciate you.
I'll see you, my friend. Thank you for all you do, and for all the voices that are starting to be used because they're hearing you use your voice. I can't thank you enough.
Bye.
Don't you love my guests tonight? I mean, I am pretty doggone lucky. The people that come to stage, they're beautiful, awesome humans. There's Gregory, there's Bill, there's been Melissa, there's so many. Nick's been a guest, so many awesome people in the comments that have been guests. Some of you I've invited to be a guest and you have not responded, or you've said no, and that's okay. When you're ready, I have time to get you on stage. Now, the only rule I have to be a guest on Just Jackson Guests is you can't disrespect other humans. This is about hyping people. This is about talking about tough topics and normalizing things, and it's about encouraging mental wellness. So if you know somebody that would be an awesome guest, connect them with me. Now, I have had some people say, hey, what about this person coming on stage? Guys, you need to have them message me, or you need to do a group message, because I'm not going to force people to come to stage. But there's some of you guys that are here almost every week, showing up in the comments, hyping other people. You have a story to tell too. Every one of us is amazing. You don't have to be a co-author in one of the books I've been in. You don't have to have your own publishing company. You don't have to do a magazine. You don't have to be a business owner. You could be looking for a position right now. You could be somebody that likes to talk about horses, or you like to talk about something else, because it's all about you and getting more people to realize that each and every one of us is just as important as the other one, that your voice should not be tamed. It should not be quieted or told that you're not as important. I know Gregory had a couple comments the other day where he was saying that he had to lose a couple people because they were becoming toxic to him. Guys, that still happens as adults. We don't have to keep somebody just to make our friends number look big or our follower count look good. You deserve to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with positive people. I keep thinking back to, for those of you that aren't aware, my son was in a really bad motorcycle accident 2.5 weeks ago, and 21, his girlfriend's 21. They bought a house together about 10 months ago. Back in the day, 21 was old, but now it's not that old. They are still very young in our minds. The things she has done to support him. Guys, I know people that have been together in a couple relationship for 5, 10, 15, 20 years that have never had to go through some of the things that they have went through. And it makes me think about Who do you want by your side? Do you want the people that are going to walk away when a crisis happens, or they're going to be willing to push your wheelchair for you? They're going to be willing to go and help you sit through a scary doctor's appointment, or they're going to be the one that just sends you a message. Guys, if I showed you my phone, how many text messages I have gotten from the amazing Bill Hobbs checking in, asking about my son, but also asking about me, you would be amazed. And he's not doing it in a stalker kind of way. He is doing it in a, you are important. Your son's in my thoughts. I'm praying for you. I hope everything gets better. That's what true support is like. And if you are in an environment with your family or your friends group, or maybe even your colleagues are not super supportive of you, guys, you deserve to be around good people. You deserve to be around people that care about you and can treat you good. So I am going to wish you all the very best. If you are somebody that wants to come on stage, if you are somebody that has an opportunity to get your voice out there, to get your message to somebody else. And now our dear Gregory, he's been on the most amount of time. So I love him so much and I appreciate him. But I want to get some new voices out there, guys, because you guys do deserve to be able to hype yourself and know how important you are. So if you're interested and you want to be a guest on Just Jax, guys, it's super simple. Message me. Take care. Have a great week. Next Monday in America, it's the Labor Day holiday. Still not sure if I'm going to do the full show or what it's going to look like. I do already have a couple bookings in August, but I still have, or in September, but I still have some openings. So message me, get your voice out there. Join us on stage. Thank you, guys.